Arceus. Few Pokemon have been as elusive as the god of all Pokemon, a creature that supposedly hatched out of an egg and created the universe. A certainly powerful being, but seemingly not powerful enough to stop its own distribution from getting cancelled. 15 years ago, in the Sinnoh region, people talked about 3 Pokemon that were hidden in the code. And not too long after, Pokemon like Shaman or Darkrai got released. So people waited for this elusive last Pokemon, but it never came. Years later, it was confirmed that the Azure Flute, the item needed for the Arceus, was never distributed because Game Freak thought it was too complicated to figure out what to do with it. With Arceus not being distributed, people wondered when they were gonna release it. Turns out they would do so with the release of Arceus and the Jewel of Life, a movie. Now, finally released, people didn't have to worry about it not getting distributed anymore, but while Arceus may be released now, the Azure Flute slowly drifts into obscurity. It was almost certain that we might never hear anything about it ever again, but more to that later. Fast forward to the year 2010. The Heart Gold and Soul Silver games just got released, and as it turns out, there was some Arceus lore hidden in the game. If you have a movie Arceus, or any official Arceus from that time frame for that matter, and you go to the ruins of Elf and walk to the little hut, a new sequence of events happens. It ends with the player character being teleported to a mysterious new place, just known as the Sinnoh Ruins. The one place in Johto that's closest to the Sinnoh region, and the one place where settlers from Sinnoh decided to build a temple in honor of their history. You even meet Cynthia here, where she gives the player an introduction of the ruins and how it works. Now you have the opportunity to choose one of the Pokemon from the creation trio, meaning Dialga, Palkia or Giratina. Once you have chosen to create one of the legends, a slideshow of various real-life images will appear, and after that you get the legendary you have chosen. And after that you're promptly teleported back to the ruins of Elf. Now, most people would assume that this was it. However, there's actually more. If you somehow gain access to the Azure Flute Arceus and take that to the ruins of Elf, you will get teleported back to the Sinnoh Ruins for a second time. This time you can choose a second legendary. And, well, there's not more. However, I recently found out there's actually a little bit of extra content in Pokemon Platinum. It's not to the extent of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but it's still pretty cool. And as it turns out, if you have a movie Arceus in your team and you go to Oboro Mine, you will see a hiker that's normally not in this area. If you speak to him, he will tell you that he's a student of philosophy and that he happens to be in Sinnoh for a very specific reason. He then gives you the flame plate and tells you about this plate. Now, you might think, yeah, okay, that's cool, but is there more? And turns out there is. If you go to the Canalith City Library, you will meet him again. And this time, he gives you a full-on history lesson, where he talks about the origin of Sinnoh and more of the legends. He talks specifically about Dialga and Palkia, talks about Arceus. And seemingly, he's the only character in the game that talks about Arceus directly. I've seen a theory where people said that this character might be Voldo, which would be interesting, but who knows. After telling you that, there's not a lot anymore, and that would stay like that for many years. For more than 10 years, the lore of Arceus wasn't being brought up again. In the games, that is. I know there's some appearances in anime, but I don't really count that. However, there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and that being Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the Generation 4 remake that were highly anticipated and are very much mixed. But still, it has something. Now, when it comes to Arceus, once the event was patched in, I personally wondered if we were gonna get it or if this almost mystical event will be cancelled another time. But only time will tell. And time surely went by, as it's been months since the event got patched in, but the Azure Flute hasn't been distributed yet. But there was something that would keep us busy for quite a while, and that being Pokemon Legends Arceus. A game that expanded the lore of Sinnoh, or now Hisui, and added a lot of new interesting things to the Pokemon franchise. For example, Dialga and Palkia got new forms, ancient Pokemon that have gone extinct, a whole new gameplay loop, and your main goal being to seek out all Pokemon. A divine quest bestowed upon you by Arceus itself. We even get the Azure Flute in the game, its first official appearance since its initial planned release. And once all Pokemon have been caught, you get to fight the big guy himself. And after that, you officially got the last Pokemon of the game and have finished your quest of seeking out all the Pokemon. making this the first time Arceus is actually encounterable within a game. And not soon after Legends Arceus' release, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl got another update, and this time giving you the Azure Flute for having finished Legends Arceus. Meaning you get 2 Arceuses. Arceus? Whatever. After 15 years of speculation, we were able to get Arceus from the Hall of Origin on top of Spear Pillar. I personally bought Brilliant Diamond a couple of days later after the Azure Flute update dropped for a very simple reason. Arceus can be shiny. And unlike the one you could technically get in Platinum, which could also be shiny, this one can be transferred into a home. Now, up until writing this video, I didn't know there was actually an official shiny Arceus before that. However, this was an event distribution called the Arcini of the Rings Hooper pre-booking distribution. And from what I understand, this distribution was special in a sense that it was pretty much like a raffle. You get a code, and if you activated the code, there were many different things you could have gotten from the code. You could have gotten pretty much one of each Arceus type. Meaning an Arceus with a water plate, or with a stone plate, or poison plate, you know, all of those. And one of those Arceuses was actually shiny. Now, to get to the hunt itself, it's not a hard hunt. I'd even argue it's a fairly easy hunt. Well, yes, a reset is slightly less than a minute. It doesn't make it complicated. You just save in front of the event trigger on the stairs and then walk towards the trigger of the cutscene. Once you are in the encounter, the game really makes it clear to you that this isn't any normal Pokemon. This is something a normal trainer should never mess with. The music conveys this very well. Arceus is the god of all Pokemon. Has insane powers. However, while he has godly powers, so do I, by just checking the encounter if it's shiny or not, and then pressing the home button and closing and reopening the game. I effectively time traveled back before the encounter, a power not even Arceus can stop. Now, jokes aside, here's my shiny Arceus, as well as my reaction to getting it.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Finally! Holy! No way! Yes! Yes! Oh! Oh! It is here! It is here! Oh my god! Yes! Oh. Holy crap! Oh my gosh!
It finally appeared, shiny Arceus, after roughly 3,620 resets, but now that it had appeared, I faced a different issue. How am I gonna catch it? Well, I saved the Master Ball for this very occasion, but that's boring. So I decided to capture it in a Luxury Ball, and that was gonna be a feat on its own, since the Luxury Ball has the same catching power as a regular Pokeball, so I had to be prepared. Let me introduce to you Smeargle. I traded it up from Emerald to this game, just to forget that the moves get deleted due to the way BDSP works. So I retorted the following moves. Super Fang, a move that halves the opponent's HP every time it's used. False Swipe, a move that cannot kill and will always leave 1 HP. And Spore, a sleep-inducing move. With this setup, I should be well prepared, right? Well, my Smeargle was level 71, and there was a tiny issue. If Arceus uses Future Sight and it hits, or Hyper Beam, my Smeargle was one-shot dead, so I had to improvise by switching to other mon while not attacking with them. And whenever Arceus wasn't asleep or at half health anymore, I revived Smeargle, prayed that Arceus uses 2 non-damaging moves in a row, and that I was able to put it back to sleep. Also, I only have Arceus' HP because, in case of struggling, I would still have 1 additional turn to use my Master Ball so that I can't fail it. But anyway, I started battling Arceus. I got slapped quite a bit, but that didn't deter me from throwing Luxury Balls, one after another. One shake, breakout. No shake, breakout, etc, etc. Up until this happened. That was pretty close. This one was quite soul-crushing, but I knew I had to keep going, so I did. And not too soon after, this happened. God, yes! Very nice. Very nice. It was wonderful catching your thing, and just like that, my journey to hunt the god of all shiny Pokemon has come to an end. This is my first Pokemon video, and generally my first video in this style. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it. Plan on making more Pokemon videos soon. I already have some stuff planned. At the very least, I want to try to get 1 more video out before Scarlet and Violet come out. See you in the next video.